6 stages of nutrition. You eat food and then it gets into your cells so that it can be used for energy. What's the difference between your diet and nutrition?
Diet is what you eat, that's what you put in your body, and then nutrition is what you get from your diet.
That's good. Yes, exactly. So diet is what you eat, good, bad, and ugly, whatever you eat. All of that is your diet. What you can benefit from, what actually gets to your cells in a beneficial way, that's nutrition. That is what's actually feeding the cells. So there's a difference between the two. And what's in your diet goes through this process of digestion, absorption after that, being circulated in your body, assimilated as needed, and then of course the waste is eliminated. But let's look at digestion. We'll focus on that for just a little bit. So what happens? When does the process of digestion start? It starts in your mouth. In fact, sometimes it starts even before you eat. When you smell the food you're about to eat, you start secreting saliva. And saliva has some digestive enzymes, amylase. That's the enzyme that's in saliva. So now when you eat the food and you chew it, the mastication process of breaking down secretes more of those buccal enzymes, the things that are in the mouth. That's the term for buccal. And it starts breaking down. Amylase acts on the carbohydrate first. Okay? So it starts breaking down carbohydrate. It starts there. Then that food passes through your esophagus. Right here, esophagus goes into the stomach. There's a sphincter, almost like a little valve at the top of the stomach that regulates the amount of food that goes into the stomach. Stomach has an acidic environment. It has hydrochloric acid, and that further breaks down the food. That's a good thing. Stomach acid is actually a really good thing. When reflux happens, it comes out of the stomach, that valve, the sphincter, is not working properly, it goes to the esophagus. That's when people get heartburn. You don't want that to happen. You want that little muscle to work properly. But the stomach acid is a good thing. It helps breakdown of some of the foods. It starts breaking it down and getting it ready for the digestive enzymes to start working. There are some enzymes that are acid-based enzymes that the body secretes that start breaking down the food in the stomach. Okay, after that, the stomach, because of this muscular motion of your the different muscles in your digestive system, is pushed from the stomach in about 1.5 to 2 hours from the stomach, and then it goes from here into your small intestine. The moment it enters the small intestine, there's a trigger there that tells your liver to send the digestive enzymes. Now these enzymes are produced by the liver and they're stored in your gallbladder. And there are 3 main types. There's lipase that breaks down the fat, there is the proteases that break down the protein, and then there is the amylases that break down the carbohydrate. Okay? So those 3 types of enzymes are all in the form of bile. They're stored in the gallbladder, and when the food comes into the intestine, they start getting pumped here. And the moment food goes from the stomach into the intestine, because of these digestive juices that are mixed into your food, it starts becoming alkaline. So the pH changes. Now those specific enzymes will work only if the food achieves the right pH as it's moving along in your system. So the process of breakdown of the food or digestion is going on as it goes from the beginning part of your intestine, the cecum to the ileum, all of these, and then here it goes into the large intestine or the colon, or the colon, right? So the large intestine, so the digestion process pretty much ends by the time it goes to the end of your small intestine. The colon has an ascending part, a transverse colon here, it's missing in the picture that joins this part to this, and a descending colon before it gets into the rectum and it's excreted. Now in that process, digestion has stopped and now it's mostly absorption. That all the juices that are already broken down, the protein broken down into amino acids, carbohydrate that's further broken down, fat that's emulsified and broken down into fatty acids, all of that starts getting absorbed. From this, now it goes into your blood and to your cells. So that's the process, okay? Now, a number of things can go wrong in this process. You may not produce enough stomach acid, for example. And so if there's not enough stomach acid process, the digestion is either incomplete or does not even start. The food is broken down, but it doesn't start. Your liver may not be producing enough digestive enzymes, may not be producing all of them. So there's several things that could happen. Usually you can tell where something is wrong based on the symptoms. So just generally speaking, if your symptoms are coming up, like belching, those kind of things, something's wrong in your stomach. If the symptoms are going down, then it's something wrong in the intestinal or digestion system. That's a way to tell where the problem might be. Another thing to remember is a lot of times, when we have digestive issues, we say, okay, well, let's take enzymes, let's take digestive enzymes. That may not be the case, that may not be what's needed for everybody. For most people it is. Especially as we age, we don't produce as much digestive enzymes, or the stomach acid production also goes down. But for a younger person, for example, if they don't have any specific health challenges, that is not what the problem is. They are producing plenty of enzymes and plenty of stomach acid. The problem could be stress-related and a constriction or a spasm in the muscles that push the food along. And if it sits in one place for too long, it starts fermenting almost, and that's why they get the symptoms. So for them, if you give them digestive enzymes, that's not going to help. What they need is something that relaxes the muscles of the digestive system. And what is that? Aloe vera. Aloe vera plus. You don't think of that immediately as a digestive product, but it has stress-relieving effects. And for a younger person, a lot of times I've seen you give them aloe vera, and that will, in most cases, take care of the problem. And then, if needed, then you can try other things, but aloe vera might do it, okay? One other very common approach that is the wrong approach is people have digestive issues. What do? They pop Tums. Or they take other acid blockers, right? That is exactly the wrong approach. It might take care of the symptoms then because it neutralizes the acid or stops the production of acid. That's what it is. Zantac, one of the largest selling drugs of all time, what does it do? It stops the production of stomach acid. Are you helping the digestive system? You need the stomach acid for the enzymes to work. You're blocking it, so maybe you don't have the acidity, but you're not helping, you're making it worse. And that's what has been an issue, especially in this country.